Hello, welcome to Merlin's Miniatures, another painting guide today, and this is for the Space Wolves Chapter Master Logan Grimnar. Now we have gone for quite a clean scheme on this, taking advantage of using contrast paints where we can to save us a bit of time on some details, whilst we take a little bit of extra time on other striking details to make him really stand out and pop on the tabletop. Now, enough of me waffling, let's get to the video. So this is our primed miniature. All I've done is apply with an airbrush a black and then done a zenithal from above with grey and then white. If you don't want to do it like this, you could easily just use grey cere, or you could do this with rattle cans if you don't have access to an airbrush. So two thin coats of wolf grey is going to be the main colour for our armour. If you wanted to use something like the Thang or rust grey, you equally could, but I think the wolf grey sits nicely between the two. Now we are just going to apply this with a brush and do two thin coats just for a nice even coverage. If you haven't tried two thin coats paints before, they're very good, they're very creamy and go on like a dream. Now there are quite a few small areas to try and get the brush in to cover all the armour. Brush size, use whatever size you feel comfortable with, but a smaller brush will really help you out here. So with two coats of wolf grey done, we're going to be looking at adding Fenrisian grey and also blue horror, and we're going to be using stippling and sponging, a nice mix of the two, and a little bit of dry brushing as well, just to stipple it on the armour to give it sort of a mottled textured look. This is super easy and can look really effective, and it doesn't take that much time. And the reason I wanted to do this on Logan was, one, because it was quick and very effective, but also I feel it adds a nice bit of wear and tear to the armour, which is what I want for this chapter master, to make it look like he's been through the wars. And much like dry brushing, with sponging you're trying to get some of those raised edges as well, and it really adds some nice texture. So once that's done, we are going to take any black. Black Legion is very effective here because it has a beautiful consistency, and we're just going to pick out any of the black areas. Now for me that is like certain parts of the gun casing. It's also sort of the main sort of under armour of the power armour, and also the claws on the pelt. So for these silver metallics, I'm going to be using gunmetal from Vallejo's metal colour range, and the reason why I wanted this is because it's quite a dark metal, and I wanted a few darker tones to really contrast against the lighter armour and what will be the lighter wolves and the lighter pelt. Once the silver is done, we're going to move on to the golds, and I'm going to be using Retributor Armour. Now I'm going to be doing a few more details gold than what the sort of the box art suggests, and that's because I wanted to keep a lot of him quite simplified, because he's got a lot going on, and it's when you start painting you realise there's a lot of small details. But yes, Retributor Armour is the main gold. For the inside of the pelts, the fleshy areas, I'm going to be using Tuscaur fur for this. Again, nice and simple, just two thin coats and then job's done. I'll also be using it for the gums on the wolves and the pelt. So when it comes to the sort of the necklace and any of the strapping that's brown, I'm going to be using Cygor brown. If you've been fairly neat and you can get away with it, go over contrast. If not, you can use any old brown, to be honest. It's such a minor detail. As long as it's got some colour, you're okay. For the weapon handle, I'm going to be using Screamer Pink. Never lets me down. So I'm going to be using a Griffin Claw by two thin coats for the pelt. And honestly, every time I look at this paint, the Sorting Hat from Harry Potter comes into my head, just going, Gryffindor! A little insight to how my brain works. Nothing fancy here, just two solid base coats. As you can see, I've always been a bit of a fan of blocking in all my colours before washing and finishing up. I just find it much easier if mistakes happen, and they do, to touch up. So I'm using Great Hall Grey from Warpaint Fanatics to do anything bone. For the pads on the pelt, I'm going to be using German Grey, and I'm also going to do any stonework on, the little jewellery that he has as well. So for his axe, I'm using Corn Red as a base, and then I'm using Mephiston Red and Evil Sun Scarlet stippled over the top just to give it some sort of fiery glow. And once that's done, I'm going to be looking at making all of the glowing cracks in the axe. Now, the simplest way to do this, as I'm doing here, is to thin down either a white ink or a white oil paint and just watch the capillary action flood all through those details, and you can wipe off the top. If you are new here, do please consider subscribing to stay up to date, and also liking, commenting and sharing the video really helps us out. Now, while that is drying, we're going to start shading some of our details. Now, you may notice I'm jumping around from all different parts of the model, and that is because I'm just trying to maximize the drying time before moving on to something else, so I tend to just dart around. So the first wash I did was Reikland Flesh Shade over all the gold, slightly thinned down, and then I'm coming in with a wash now of Agrax Earth Shade, again slightly thinned down, to go over all of the bone areas and maybe define some of the smaller shadows of the gold. For the inside of the pelts, I'm going to be using the Flesh Shade again. So I'm going to be using one of my favourite contrast paints, and that is Rattling Grime, and I knock this back about 50% with contrast medium, and that is going to go over all the silver, and it's also going to be the base for the pelt fur as well. I'm then going to come in with pure Rattling Grime, and I'm going to use this to sort of define those darker patterns on the pelt. And you can do this in Black Legion if you prefer. You know, you can do the pelt however you like, and I go over this twice just to really define that edge. Once that's done, I'm using a heavily watered down Magmador Flame for the axe. I then come in with a wet brush and just wick away most of it just so it stains that white. So my little armour mix is 25% Space Wolves Grey, 25% Gryph-Charger Grey and 50% medium. Essentially it's just a weaker version of those two mixed. You can adjust that ratio for whatever strength you like. And I'm just going around and just catching some of the little edges and just defining some of those shadows in the armour just to add that contrast and just make it pop a little bit more. As an optional step here, if you've still got some of that Rattling Grime watered down mix, you can go in and just darken up some of these edges on the armour where they all join still. It looks really effective and for just a few minutes extra work. So now we're getting somewhere. We're going to come back to that pelt and we're going to dry brush Gryffindor Grey over it. I know it's called Gryffindor, but it's now called Gryffindor Grey in my eyes. After you've done the dry brushing, you could use a thinned down version of the Rattling Grime just to reinforce that pattern on the pelt. I'd also then come in with Tuskor Fur and just pick out the highest edges of the inside of the pelt. We're also going to come back in with Great Hall Grey and go over the top of our bone and our teeth. And just as a final step for our axe, I'm taking a sponge with some black on and I'm just dabbing it across the edge to give it that charred sort of feel to it. Very quick, very easy, but I feel it adds a nice bit of depth to the weapon. So with him pretty much done armor wise, I'm going to start looking at his face. And now this, I'm just going to apply grey cere to all the edges of the hair, etc. And then I'm going to apply a coat of Soulblight contrast paint. For the actual flesh, I'm keeping it really simple. Bugman's Glow as a base, nicely thinned down. And then I'm going to add a little bit of Cadian flesh tone and just keep building up that Cadian flesh tone layer by layer, but nice and thin. And then just as the very final step, I'm going to take down a heavily watered down Guilliman flesh and just apply that over the face. And this is how that looks. The only thing left to do is the two little silver bolts, but nice and simple and nice and effective. Now for his eyes, if you don't want to paint little pupils and do all of that horrible caper, one really simple and easy thing to do, I think, is to add a little bit of white ink to the eyes and let it go round the eyes to act as like an OSL glow, and then just apply a bright contrast to the eyes. For me, that is Frost Half. And this is how that looks when it's applied. And I also wanted to use that same Frost Half for the gems to sort of illustrate that there's the same sort of power running through the gems as his eyes. So we are so close to this being done now in my eyes, and I'm just going to add a few edge highlights with blue horror. Nothing too crazy, but obviously you can go as far as you like on this. Any of the black areas, a tiny bit of that German grey will suffice. After that, I'm calling this chapter master done. Now let's look at his base and his two pooches. So they have been based in the same way. Now first up, I'm going to overbrush / dry brush using Wraithbone over the wolves. Yes, I want them to look like white wolves, but if you look at sort of polar bears and wolves in pictures and stuff, they have a lot of creamy tones to them. Once that's done, I'm going to pick out the details like the gums in the tusk or flesh, the teeth and the bones in the Great Hall Grey. And then I'm going to move on to using a contrast wash over all the base. I'm doing this nice and early just in case I hit the wolves. It's easier to touch up. And this is just Rattling Grime watered down by about 50%. For the claws on the wolfies, I'm going to be using contrast paint Black Legion. I really like using Black Legion for claws, etc., because it has a slightly satin finish. I feel it looks quite interesting for all claw type things. Look how cute these guys are looking with their little black boopers. As these are mechanically augmented wolves, I'm coming in with a silver and just applying it to any of the wires. So I use this recipe over any sort of whitey creamy fur, and it's very simple. It's probably 70% thinner to 30% skeleton horde contrast. I like it nice and sort of almost like a caramel color, and I think it looks really great when it dries. Anything I want albino, I tend to use this recipe. But if you wanted them on the cooler end of the spectrum compared to this warmer tone, you could heavily water down Space Wolves Grey and it'll give you a lovely blue-grey tone. I'm then just going to come in with the Wraithbone and a bit of white and just dry brush it over the top and call the fur done. With the eyes on these wolves, I literally just painted in a small amount of Mephiston Red. I'm also going to apply a small dry brush over the rock and stones of the base before I add my basing material. For any of the scars on the wolves, I'm using Carroburg Crimson and just heavily watering it down with a little bit of contrast medium and just applying it over the scars. So basing wise, I'm going to be using AK Interactive's Concrete as a base because I love this stuff, and like I said before, it takes a wash / paint well, so I can use it as a base for many different scenes. Once it's dry, I'm going to be using that trusty wash of Rattling Grime that's been watered down and apply it all over. And you can see I also did a little test of fake snow using Valhalla Blizzard. I then come in with some light grey pigment powder and just push it all in just to try and add a little bit of depth to it before applying my snow mix to finish. So my snow mix is Valhalla Blizzard from Games Workshop with a tiny bit of contrast medium, and also the snow sparkles from AK Interactive just to dust off the top of them. I find this spreads around nicely and adds quite an organic looking half melted snowy scene to any base. So with the snow on, I'm going to add this chapter master and call it done. And here he is, a fantastic model that doesn't fight you to get to all of the small details and looks really effective. Thank you again for checking out this Merlins miniatures painting tutorial, and do hit subscribe to stay up to date with all future videos. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next one.